hackers don't sleep. They don't worry about COVID-19. They're relentless, right? And in fact, the number of attacks just have gone up exponentially. And healthcare is a big target. I'm sure you've seen the latest news around ransomware targeting a lot of the healthcare providers. And so this is one customer that we've been working with, and they were dealing with the challenges, right? They were dealing with the challenges of not only keeping up with COVID-19, but on the technology side, they did not have a proper security incident and event management infrastructure, which means there was no place to collect logs centrally and somebody to look at it, right? And we are all about data. Data is key to our business. The more data we have, the better we can perform, right? And so our first step in any journey is to sit down and do a mapping of all the data. What do they have? Do they have cloud setup? What kind of cloud infrastructure do they have? What kind of on-prem infrastructure do they have? What do they have on the networks? How are they segmented, right? So look at kind of the whole network topology and look at the data sources that we can pick from. And then we take these data sources and then we have a discussion around use cases. So what is the most important use case for our customers? Obviously, we have frameworks like MITRE ATT&CK, which is such an interesting framework and a very important framework for practitioners to wrap their heads around. How do I come up with my defense strategy, right? You look at the MITRE framework and say, am I protected for all these stages of an attack? And how do I prep? So that's kind of our anchor as well. So we look at the data, we look at the use cases that is important for the customer, and then obviously we advise them along the way in terms of our experience and what we have seen happening with their peers and other players in that same industry or whatever's topical at the time, and then come up with a plan on data ingestion. And like I said, we have near zero footprint. Like we don't need to really install this anything on the customer's environment. So this customer, we like totally zero, nothing installed. So it was a question of making sure that we are picking up the right data and the right data sources in a phased manner. And so that was the next step, making sure that all the data is fed in, and then it gets into kind of our platform, our SOC takes over. And that's where the beauty of the solution is. At that point, unlike a typical outsourcing model in the past where MSSPs come in and make it more like a black box where they take in the data, they do their magic, and then they throw over whenever they find something to the other side. Unlike that model, we actually work very closely with our customers. Our SOC acts as an extended team of the customer CIO or CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer. So we work really closely to ensure that we are leveraging the power of the platform, the expertise that we have in-house. We have expertise like threat hunting, data science, threat research, all these expertise we bring in, and the power of data science and automation through the platform. Goal is to provide them 24/7 monitoring. Somebody not only taking the data, storing it for compliance and so on, but actually data science and people, so a combination of technology and people keeping a watch 24/7, right? And that's key, just making sure that we are always watching it. And when we find an issue, when we find something of interest, we investigate and we validate whether it's an actual incident or not. And if it's an actual incident, we work with our customers to remediate and ensure that the gaps are plugged and that it doesn't happen again.